All right, Big Ben back here with you. So you're adopted, and I am too, and you're looking for your biological people just like I did. Hey, I'm just going to give you an update on 2018, what transpired in my year. So, right off the get go, 2018, I took a DNA test and decided to start searching for my father, my biological father side of things. And I took that DNA test, and I had a whole list of people that I was related to. And so I had a DNA tree from my biological aunt on my mother's side, who I'd already found in 2016. And with that in hand, and all this fresh DNA, I started searching people out. And I quickly realized I had a bunch of people I couldn't figure out how I was related to them, and and I just couldn't figure it out. I had who I thought the father side of the family would be, but then I had this whole group of people I just couldn't figure out who they were. So I asked my biological mother about it, and she informed me that my biological grandmother, her mother, was also adopted in like 1922. And so I asked her to take a DNA test so I can help sort through all this stuff. And she did, and as soon as I got her DNA stuff back, I started on it right away. Well, in the meantime, I was working on the biological father stuff. Now, I've said in the past I knew he wasn't a good guy when I started looking for him, and it took me a long time to decide I was going to search for him because I knew how I ended up here, and it wasn't really somebody I didn't think I wanted to find. Turns out I did. So, in April, I found the biological father. He had passed, but I found his brothers, and not only that, I found a couple of half brothers. To me, well, I thought they were half brothers. Turns out, I mean, if you watch the other videos, you know the whole story. That I went out there in early summer and spoke to them and met them and hung out with them and you know the older half brother informed me that he went ahead and took a DNA test. He thought it was a good idea. Now I had previous knowledge saying there was a possibility he might not be a half brother. Now me and the youngest brother, we do look a lot alike, and man, I tell you what, he's a he's a nice guy. I mean, everybody I've met out there so far has been fantastic people. I cannot complain about any of it. Just great people. And first time in my life I've been around anybody I look like, same size as me, looks just like me. I mean, me and that youngest brother, we look a lot alike. Other than I'm a little older and a little fatter, but other than that, if he looks like me, he's a good guy, right? He is a good guy. So, by the time I got back from vacation in the middle of July, the older half brother calls me and says, "Hey, we're not related," and I had to run through it with him and explain to him that I'm pretty sure I found the right people, but we had the youngest brother's DNA done, and just as I suspected, he ends up being my half brother. So I decided to help. This non biological half brother decided to help him. Find out who his people is because he's got the same questions I had now. And right off the get go, he's got a first cousin. So we contacted this first cousin thinking that she would have some answers. And we were wrong. She had questions because she was adopted too. So it didn't take us very long to figure out, his credit to him. He did a great job. I helped him very little, but he was able to put it all together just pretty quick. Just on the information I told him how I found them, he was able to put it together really quick. He found his biological father, who had also passed. But he found some biological half siblings, just like I did. And he went ahead and got his, who he thought was his half sister, got her DNA done, and he found the right people. It was his half sister. So while this is going on the whole time, yeah, I'm searching out the biological grandma's thing all summer, and I'm helping this lady all summer. And I took a trip back out to Texas in early November. Hung out with the uncles and the my biological half brother again. great people, man. I'm glad I put the time into finding them. They couldn't have been better people to find, just great people. And so here we are at the end of end of December, and I got a lot accomplished this year as far as my biological stuff. I was able to put all my biological grandma stuff together, man. I know who her grandparents were. I know who her great grandparents were. I know who her great great grandparents were on both sides. I got a really good idea who her biological mother is, just using the census records and marriage and divorce records and birth records, and I got a pretty good idea who her mother is. Now her dad, I'm not 100% sure about. It's 1 to 2 boys. I'll probably never know that. And then right before Christmas, this lady I've been helping since, like June, July, so, 5 months ago, I was able to call her and tell her, hey, look, I found your biological people. Your biological mother's passed. But here is your biological sisters. Here's their names. Here's their Facebook pages. And here's the town they live in. And, man, she couldn't have been happier. And she sent me a message right back saying that she sent me this message. She said, man, you ain't going to believe this, but one of my people that I'm related to is friends with this lady on Facebook. And what a crazy world, man. What a crazy little, she lives in a big town in Texas. I mean, one of the biggest towns in Texas, one of the biggest cities. And, matter of fact, they got 2 airports and the Cowboys play there. And, here it is. I don't know how many people live in that, Dallas, Fort Worth area, but here it is. Somebody in her family that she was adopted to is friends with her biological half-sister on Facebook. It's pretty freaking amazing, It's just a crazy, crazy deal. But we were able to do that just using her DNA. And I know in the past I didn't explain real well in my previous videos on DNA and how to use it correctly. So I'm going to try to clear that up a little bit real quick. Get your DNA done, man. Get a DNA test done, and when you get that test back, you'll have a list of biological people. And you want to start with the first one. Whether they have a tree or don't have a tree, start with the very first one, the one you're closely matched to. And hopefully it's somebody real close and you won't have to go through a whole lot. But if it's not, start with them, hit the match button of who they match with, and that'll give you a list of everybody you're matched with that person, and write all those names down. And then go to the next person on the list that's not on your first list, and I name them A and B. You can name them, potential mom, potential dad, whatever you want to do it. I just do A and B because that's the easiest for me. And you want to run down a list of those people. And you want to do that a couple times on each one of those lists, because you may find at some point there's some halves in there. You'll have some people you're related to on one side, and in column A, and you go down the list and there's some different people you're related to in column A. It's all part of putting it together. And once you do that, then you want to go to those family trees that people have. And if they have an unlinked tree, go ahead and click on their profile and see if there's a tree in there somewhere. And a lot of them don't link their trees, but if you go to their profile and scroll down to the tab, and it says, preview tree, and they may have 2 or 3 trees listed. It might be a searcher like me, or it may be somebody that started it and just didn't link it or whatever, but you want to start going through all the family trees you have access to. If you run across a family tree that's you don't have any access to, and that's locked or, on private, send those people a message, man. Don't be scared to send those people a message. I've sent, and here's the message I've sent, and I've never had anybody not give me access to the tree is, hey, I'm adopted. I'm looking for my biological people. I have nothing to start with. Can I please have access to your tree? And I really, I don't have any other information that, you show up on my DNA list. And I've not had one person that didn't give me access to the tree after I sent them that message. And they can tell you're related to them. And then you, like I said, you get all the matches on column A, and start going through all their trees. You're looking for a common name, a name that somebody has, that every one of them have as a common ancestor. And then you want to try to work that down and keep working that down. Your closest common ancestor you can get, the better off you are. And hopefully you can get it all the way, all the way down to your, grandmother or grandfather or something like that. But just keep working that down. And then once you get to that point where you run out of common ancestors, you want to go start researching their kids, and just, it's time consuming, but you do it one at a time, using census records, birth records, marriage records, any records you have access to. And then you do that on the opposite side, on B, and try to figure it all out. Get your non-identifying information, man. If you're able to get it, please get your non-identifying information. Write everything down. Anything you can find, write it down. This is a brand new year. It's 2019. Happy New Year to you. I hope this is the year that you decide to find your people and it works out for you. And if for some reason, you want some help, or you're not, you just don't know where to start, or you're in a spot, email me. BigBenAdopted@gmail.com. Again, that's BigBenAdopted@gmail.com. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I'll help you in any way, man. I know what it's like to be adopted. I know what it's like to be looking for your biological people. And I've done a few of these searches, including my own, my biological grandmother. I've helped this lady, and I've helped a couple other people. So good luck in your search. Start off the new year. Hey, if you decide you want to look for your people, start today, because guaranteed, tomorrow's not guaranteed. Today's the day you need to start. It's a brand new year. Let's make 2019 the year that you find your biological people. Hey, this is Big Ben. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're well. I hope you have a great New Year's. We'll do this again. I'm out.